how I have leveraged virtual assistants to help with business marketing. And after watching this video, if you decide this is something that may help you, our discovery call link is in the caption below. Please schedule a call. We'd love to learn more about you and your business and see how we can help. So, who am I? My name is Adrienne Green. I'm one of the founders here at Workergenics. I have had another successful business that I built and sold, a team of real estate agents. And in that business and here at Workergenics, we use virtual assistants all of the time to help with marketing. And so today I'm going to give you a little peek behind the curtain into how to do that, because often we have clients who have this idea of what they want to do, but they're just not sure how to do it or all of the things that a virtual assistant could do to help. So here I'm going to give you a whole bunch of details of how to do it and what specifically a virtual assistant can easily do that I can say and speak to from personal experience. So if this is something you're thinking about at all, please let's go along together, and I'm going to share so many good details with you. First, I wanted to go through three, foundational or fundamentals that you want to keep in mind as you think about working with a virtual assistant for marketing. The first is, how are you going to task them for these various marketing tasks? I highly recommend when you're working with anyone in your business, whether they're virtual or in person, is you use a project or a task management system, all right? Something where you can make the task, you can track the progress, you guys can have messages related to this task. I love using something we built out in Monday.com. There are plenty of other things, Trello, Asana, all kinds of things like that. And any of them, whichever one works for you, works, but an online project or task management system. Now, when you give someone a task, you want to make sure that you're giving them the 20% that they need to be successful. You need to either cast the vision, give them the key ingredients, or give them some sort of starting point of what success looks like in here and what you're expecting from this project. You also will need, that part of your other 20% is that you're going to need to review what they do and give feedback. Remember that the leverage that you get from a virtual assistant is multiplying your efforts, and something times zero is still zero. So you need to be putting something in for them to multiply it. Now, again, this is a multiplier, so you're able to put in maybe 20% or potentially less over time as you have a virtual assistant you're used to working with, and they are going to take that and times 5 or times 8 or times 10 or times 20 your effort over time. So it's huge in being more effective and having a bigger reach for your business. So like we said, you're going to have a project management portal. You are going to give them the 20% they need up front so that they can go multiply it. And you're going to want to make sure that whatever you do with online marketing, you're working to make repeatable systems and templates during this process. You want to have checklists or something like that. And once you've gone through some aspect of this marketing with a virtual assistant once, you want it to be something repeatable where they can do it again and again, because now there's a system, there's a procedure, there's a checklist in place. And that's where a lot of that magic happens of multiplying your efforts, because it's not something that just happens once. It's something that now can be done again and again and again. All right, so now that we have those fundamentals in place, I'm going to talk about in-person marketing and some ways that a virtual assistant can help you with that. And then I'm going to talk about online marketing and some ways that a virtual assistant can help you with that. So diving into in-person marketing, even though the virtual assistant is not in your office, they can help you when you do in-person marketing. And here are some of the ways that I have done that. First, they can make any kind of graphics, newsletters, anything that you're going to print out, post online for an in-person marketing event or anything of that nature. So I know that personally, for myself and a lot of other business owners, we can go down a rabbit hole of spending hours trying to perfect the perfect poster or the perfect flyer or the perfect postcard or something like that. And it is not the highest and best use of our time. And that is something that a virtual assistant can easily do. Again, you need to tell them what needs to be on that piece of information and what you kind of want it to look like, just vision. And that depends on how much of a control freak you are and how visual you are. And then they can take it and make it happen. They can do all these different tweaks. And what's also cool is I have found often my virtual assistants give me a few different versions with maybe some different color schemes or things in different areas. And I can choose the one that resonates with me the most. So designing marketing materials is something that a virtual assistant can totally do for an in-person event. Also, helping plan those events, coordinating sponsors, creating online events or dates to help you with that. If you're going to have a Facebook event, if you're going to put it on to Eventbrite, if you're going to have an Evite, that is something that a virtual assistant can do for you and take that off your plate. Also, if this is an event that's open to the public, I have loved having virtual assistants make and send press releases. And that is something that, again, you can have a template, you can make it for one event, and then you can use it again and again and again for future events. So that is something, if you're not doing it yet, it can help promote your event in all those news articles and things like that around your area. And then calling or texting registrants. So if this in-person event is something where people are registering or RSVPing, if you haven't had an event yet, let me share with you the power of reminding people of the event, the day before or the day of. And that is something that a virtual assistant can do. They can make that call, they can send that text, they can do all of that, which greatly increases the show up rate that you have for that event. And then similarly, the virtual assistant can also help with event follow-up after the event. So you've had these people come. Often the point is to expand your network and to bring more people into your world. But if you don't stay in contact with them, it's wasted, right? So a virtual assistant can help by following up with the people after the event, asking them for feedback, thanking them for coming, things like that. And they can also add people to your CRM or your database. So that way you can continue to have other follow-up email newsletters, phone calls, texts, etc. Whether it's you or the virtual assistant doing it, they're getting them into your database so that that can happen in the first place. And these are all things that I know as a business owner and in talking to other business owners, we've all struggled with. We can make the event happen, but we don't do all these little extra things that really make it successful and make it something that we get more business from. Now let's transition to online marketing. Now, what I'm going to really dive into here is what we've done with social media and other post-based online marketing. I have also used virtual assistants for everything else under the sun, like online newsletters, paid ads, things like that. And yet, there's a lot that goes into just the social media and the post-based marketing. And so I'm really going to dive deep into that. And I think there's a lot of lessons that you can apply to any of these other online marketing avenues. Or if you'd like me to make another video about how I work with virtual assistants for any of these other online marketing avenues, just post it in the comments below and I can happily put together a video where we're diving into newsletters or paid ads or cold online lead gen or things like that. Okay? All right, so now let's talk about the social media aspect. So first off, for social media, we post in a lot of places, all right? We're posting on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube. I also say we have blog posts, so I would throw that in here, and Google Business. These are all places where we will create content and post it, and that is a lot. A couple months back, I decided I wanted to revamp the online marketing for Workergenics because it was okay, but I really wanted to redo it so that it would be a top lead generation source for us as a business. And so I'm going to walk through with you here as if from the beginning so you can see behind the curtain of what I did for our online marketing for this social media post-based stuff. And this is one example of a way that you could work with virtual assistants in that online marketing. It's not the only way, but I think that this will give you an idea of all the options that are available and give you some ideas. So first, in this, I really wanted it to be a top lead generation source, and I also wanted to greatly increase my skills in terms and my knowledge of online marketing. I wanted to greatly increase my expertise, let's say, in online marketing. So because of that, I did take a more active role in this than I do sometimes in other projects where we leverage virtual assistants. There's a lot where I actually wanted to build out the system because that's also one of my skills is really building out a robust, repeatable system. So I wanted to take the time to learn about online marketing and apply that skill here. So first, let me talk about what our system for online marketing looked like. So I kind of broke it down into four main parts. First is developing the ideas and the content, right? What are we going to make these posts about? What's that going to say? And then two is actually producing and posting the content, right? That's a little bit more logistical. Three is engagement, right? Because a lot of social media is, of course, posting on other people's pages, getting them to post on ours, engaging with people once something resonates with them. And then fourth, evaluating the results, right? That's something they say again and again for social media is you have to look at what did well and use that to tweak your content. So within these 4 areas, I kind of executed some different strategies and how I was doing this with a virtual assistant. So let's dive in. So first, part 1, developing the ideas and the content. This is one that often I think business owners really need to at least initially take ownership of, because you know your ideal client and you know the ins and outs of your business better than anyone you could hire would know, right? Like you can hire any kind of social media expert, even if you got the best person in the US, they don't know about the widgets that you make. They know social media. And so they need to work with you to learn more about your widgets and how your widgets are different from the other company's widgets and who the best client for your widgets is. They need to know that in order to promote that on social media. So that first part of developing the ideas and the content for your social media is something that I really said, hey, I know my ideal client here for Workergenics. I know what sets us apart from other virtual assistant options. And so I'm going to really highlight that on social media at first. Now, once you've got it dialed in, once you've got the system up and running and you're resonating with your ideal client and the results are coming, then that can be handed off to a virtual assistant. In my view, I see a big difference in the success of online marketing between companies where the owners or the people who are higher up and really understand those details are involved in online marketing from the get-go versus the ones where they just completely handed it off. Again, like I said at the beginning, leveraging with a virtual assistant is a multiplier. And so especially at the beginning, I think you need some input to really get that multiplying of it. All right, so part 2, producing and posting the content. This is where I kind of did a little bit at first of figuring out how do we want to post this content, because we're on so many different channels and I love to be efficient. So because efficiency is one of my key skills, I took the time to research different social media management systems and things like that. And we settled on Metricool. That was a good fit for us. So I initially kind of came up with a big part of the plan of how we're going to post this by playing around and seeing how things worked. And then I very quickly handed off the posting to a virtual assistant. And throughout the whole time, a virtual assistant has been doing any of our video editing. That's something that a virtual assistant can do very well and is not my highest and best use. So when it comes to producing and posting the content, we've had a virtual assistant who's doing our video editing from the get-go. And then as soon as I figured out the system that we wanted for posting the content, I handed that off to a virtual assistant. From the videos and the draft that I had made, they really finished writing the entire procedure. So it's very systemized and very recorded, and it's an SOP that anybody could plug and play and work with. And then they also are the one who takes the ideas I created. They'll make the image if this is an image-based post that we need to do, and then they'll go on Metricool and they will actually put in all the details and schedule that post to be posted. So again, after I come up with the ideas and the wording and the setup we want for the post, it's really a virtual assistant. And I'm recording the videos, right? Like me here. After that, various virtual assistants are taking it and running with it, either editing the videos or taking that content and making and scheduling the social media posts. Now, assuming this all works, we're going to get engagement, right? We're going to get people reaching out. We're going to get people commenting and everything like that. And that is something that I always had a virtual assistant write up the procedure and handle. How are we doing that on a daily basis, right? We're going into Metricool, which compiles all of the inboxes, and we are going through and responding to things on a daily basis. And a virtual assistant has written out the procedure and handles that for Workergenics. And then also going out, finding other similar accounts to follow, finding other similar, and by similar, I mean, things with the same ideal client, similar interests, similar industry, things like that, commenting on those posts, liking those posts, being a part of the community for this endeavor, and then evaluating the results. Now, again, this is not some ad for Metricool, but I will say Metricool is really cool because it aggregates all the results into one place. So if you are looking to up-level your online marketing, I would say look at that or any other online marketing or social media management tool, because it's so much easier than going to each of these individual places and seeing your results there. So evaluating the results is, again, somewhere I've used a virtual assistant from the beginning to kind of do the initial pass through, the initial evaluation. How are we doing? What stands out, right? Are we really excelling on one platform versus the others? Are certain types of content really excelling versus the others? Is it something really lagging? And pretty much where are the outliers? Where are the outliers? So what do we want to do more of and less of? So the virtual assistant is the initial pass through with that. And then we have a once a month meeting where they kind of share the results with me, and they and I together use that to tweak our content plan for the following month so that we are again honing in on what's resonating with people and what can add value. So that was a lot. All right, guys, we're on over 15 minutes here of online marketing deep dive, in-person marketing deep dive, and how you can use a virtual assistant. So if you've stuck along this long, wow, kudos, pat yourself on the back. And if you are in need of a virtual assistant to help level up your business and get this online marketing on lockdown, please schedule a discovery call below. We'd love to hear more about your business and see how we can help. Adrienne Green here. Thank you so much.